got to fight this guy. Oh, you got injured in camp. You lose to that guy too. Now you're set back when you could have been a champion.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of like weirdness going on with possibilities and, you know, just luck, bad luck, and good luck.
Bad luck and good luck. Timing, I think, is a big thing.
How is something like this allowed to happen? How is Jake Paul allowed to fight Gervonta Davis? It's
I don't know.
Completely unfair. It is completely just, I can't say the word that I want to say because I don't want to get canceled.
And then going out there and taking on a guy that is maybe 92 pounds heavier, that is at least 65 pounds heavier than you. That is called one thing. That's called being a bully.
Joe Rogan sharply criticizes Jake Paul for his fight against Gervonta Davis, despite the significant size difference. He emphasizes that weight classes are designed to protect fighters, and ignoring these divisions can lead to serious dangers. Rogan suggests that Jake is more interested in promoting the event than respecting the fairness and safety of boxing. His main concern is that Jake's much larger frame and power pose a real threat to Tank, making the matchup unsafe and unnecessary.
Sure, but no time limit within the weight class.
Yeah, that'd be sweet.
That would be pretty that'd be pretty wild.
Yeah, that'd be pretty
Because
crazy.
you know, like two guys are facing off each other, like, and they know, like, there's no rescue every 5 minutes.
Yeah. And you go into it knowing you're either getting knocked down or submitted, or you're doing that to the other person.
Michael Bisping voices serious concerns about Jake Paul's decision to fight Gervonta Davis under such extreme weight disparities. He points out that Jake plans to face someone nearly 100 pounds lighter, which disrupts the natural balance of boxing. Bisping recalls how the matchup with Mike Tyson, who was 58 and retired, already seemed questionable. Now, fighting Tank Davis, who is significantly smaller, only deepens the controversy, as it appears to be driven more by Jake's quest for advantage than fair competition. Bisping stresses that boxing relies on fairly matched contests, and this fight seems more about personal gain and risking the smaller fighter's safety than about genuine sport.
One thing, that's called being a bully. It was bad enough when he fought Mike Tyson, a man that was 58 years old, and he was walking around like, I just beat the baddest man on the planet. I just destroyed Mike Tyson and went out there and I beat him, and him and his brother are all celebrating and shit like that. It's like, dude, what are you doing? What don't you understand about this? If you want respect from your peers, if you want everyone on the planet to look at you and take you seriously and give you credit as a boxer, you have to take on challenges that are real. You have to go up against someone that keeps you up at night, against someone that gets you out of bed in the morning to go for a run because the fear of them beating you down is real. Not going up against someone that is so small. If you were to go up to this guy in a bar and try and start a fight with them, people would look at you and say one word, whoa, stop being such a bully. Leave him alone. You are way bigger than this guy. And that's clearly what we have here. It is ridiculous. When you look at the tail of the tape, Gervonta Tank Davis, granted, a very, very skilled boxer, a world champion. He's had some great wins. He's had a tremendous career. He's got 28 knockouts on his record. I'm just looking at the tail of the tape here. 30 years old, Jake Paul, 28. Gervonta Davis is 5'5" tall, whereas Jake Paul is 6'1". I would never dream on picking on a guy that is 5'5" tall. Granted, there's some tough guys out there that are 5'5", okay? They're smaller guys, but for 5'5", they'll pack a good punch. Typically, they're mixed martial artists or boxers, yeah.
Teddy Atlas reacts to the face-off between Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis, highlighting the enormous size difference. He jokes that Tank is so small compared to Jake that he'd need a ladder just to reach Jake's chin. While Atlas acknowledges that skill and style differences are part of boxing, he insists that the size gap here is simply too vast. From his perspective, Tank's physical size makes it impossible for him to effectively reach or challenge Jake, making the fight look mismatched from the start.
Things, right? They should also have like the size of the ring, the size of the glove, all that stuff. Particulars should be in the contract, but I would probably look for one thing that is not the common thing to have in a contract if I'm Tank. A ladder. A ladder. Can I get a ladder? Somebody? You know what I mean? Hey, look, if he hits him on the chin the way he can punch, Jake might be doing a dance. You know what I mean? Not voluntarily either. But we'll get into that more later. The thing that I'm talking about right here is what you said. It was stark. the size difference was really, you couldn't ignore it. We understand the talent difference, the experience difference. We understand all of that. But the size, the pure, and we understand small guys can beat big guys. We just saw Crawford do it to Canelo, but you know, a little different. The size difference was, I mean, it was eye-catching, jaw-dropping, and it made me think. And I'm gonna ask Richie, our man here who's doing all the taping, who does such a marvelous job. I'm gonna ask him because I know he's an expert in this area. But it reminded me of one of the Rocky movies where they had the face, where they did the wrestling thing with Rocky and Hulk Hogan, AKA Thunderlips. He was Thunderlips back there.
Joe Rogan points out that Jake Paul's actions are driven more by promotion than genuine competition. He explains that fights like this are crafted to attract casual viewers and generate buzz through unusual matchups. Rogan believes that the talk of betting and the spectacle of the event are less about athletic merit and more about headlines. He suggests Jake understands how to stay in the spotlight and uses boxing as a promotional tool, even if the matchups aren't rooted in fairness. Rogan sees this as a troubling trend in the sport.
That's a problem. That makes it a problem. My opinion is, I just want to say, in case someone calls me into court, I'm a fucking idiot and I don't know nothing. And don't take my advice.
I love the Saudis.
Don't take my opinion.
I love the Israeli government. I love everybody.
That had nothing to do with them. That was Jake Paul promoting it. You know, it's just doesn't bother me.
There's compromising the sport, and that's like bad. It's just like
if I bet on it, it bothers the fuck out of me.
Watching it with people who are so in on it, and then also man, the sports betting apps, they introduced like chat apps in them in Australia. So it's like they're trying to take the place of social media companies where you go together and you meet your friends. Like betting should be exciting enough without having a weird.
They're just trying to draw you in. Thing. They're just trying to make money, right? So they're trying to draw you in any way they can.
Leonard Ellerby discusses Tank Davis's mental state before his scheduled fight with Lamont Roach, noting that Tank was not in the right mindset at that time. He explains that Tank was dealing with personal challenges and didn't want to add more stress, which is why the fight was postponed. Ellerby suggests that Tank was focusing more on handling his personal issues than on proving himself in the ring, and avoiding the fight was a way to steer clear of unnecessary pressure.
Leonard Ellerby said,
and why he's fighting YouTube sensation turned professional boxer Jake Paul, who has 12 wins, 1 loss, no draws, 7 wins by way of knockout, opposed to fighting against the likes of his peers who are well accomplished and superstars in their own right for legacy fights like Shakur Stevenson, like Teofimo Lopez, like Devin Haney. Why he's not interested in those fights. And he gets real, right? He gets real, and only thing we could do is salute it. Right? Because he's saying, I never told y'all I wanted to be a world champion. I never told y'all I wanted to be undisputed. I got into this for myself and my circumstances to escape from my circumstances. And that's real. We can't blame him for that. We hold him in high regard because the statements he's made and misled people when he said he got a hit list that he wants to check off before he retires, and that hit list includes Shakur Stevenson, Devin Haney, Lomachenko, who turned down the fight because of a severe back injury. And then he told the world, he told Champside, it would be great for him to become undisputed. So I think that he had a change of heart at some point in time along the way, right?